So they can basically scan through the entire facility. They have every entrance, every interior door at their fingertips.
Yeah, which is enabling. Now the officer has a screen next to him.
This room's empty. So there's is the lockdown over here.
Yeah, that's the officer's job, but to get them all in. But once you hit that button, up here we have to control the doors.
I got it.
You close it. I'll show you what a radio might sound like. Dave, I'm going to do a radio test, okay?
So while you're looking at this, these desks, they move up and down.
Can you just do a test off your
Air
radio?
conditioning, or they have fans, they have
Just test your
heaters,
radio.
they can plug in their electronic devices. This is the only
So this would be a
area that they
radio?
can put cell phones up there.
We'd hear this, which we automatically have written down. I'll show you. So we can look on this. You see who has got that 1-1? It's Deputy Chapman. So we can look it on the radio. We know the location. Anything that comes up in zone 1, we know it's zone 1. We have zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. Supervisors, we have central. Look.
Yeah. And also we have enunciator panels in the back, controls all the fire systems. So if we have another house here, this is house 2 and house 3 at the end. And jailers, this is our workers in our protective custody as well as our ad-seg and segregation units. And then our sentenced inmates are down at the last house, and we'll go through it. If they just are in their beginning stages or returning from court, this is where they're going to sit until we get a group of them, and then we'll flow them through escorted by an officer to their units. They can be 1 to 25. It doesn't have to just be. It's not one-on-one. It's just as long as they have an escort. That's how it works. So if you come in here, you get the captain.
The iris, for identification purposes, and we have a APHIS print machine here that everybody gets printed, and those automatically get sent off to the FBI.
No oil, not like the old days with ink. It's all done
No,
electronically.
not unless we have an IT failure. We still have the ink somewhere around here in a cabinet, but I haven't seen it in several years, which is a good thing because I was terrible at that. But anyway, it gets sent off to FBI. If there's any hits, come back from quarters to come back, and then we'll process them. We also use that to establish the DNA lists. For some of the crimes that people have committed, they're required to provide DNA samples. Just to provide a real strong chain of paper or virtual paper, it's electronic now. We don't print those. If you want, take a look in there. And there's also cameras in every cell too, to monitor, not in every cell in the facility, but every cell down here we have cameras. We can hold 588 is our max number. We haven't been close to that, since we opened. We opened in 2004.
Guys, want to just get up there, make room so everybody can check it out, see if B-scan performs. Every inmate has to give their phone recognition and have it inputted in the system, or they don't use the phone. It's a privilege, it's not a right. So that's how that works, and they all want to use the phone. Now we have video, it's like Skyping. So now they can, with certain units have set up cameras where they can make an appointment, they pay for it on the outside, and they can Skype in. We're looking for the day where they hold the guns and the money and tie it all together and just say to the DA, this is what we got. But cool technology, and it's right at our fingertips. So every inmate in this facility's clothing is here. All the uniforms are here. The changeover rooms, if you want to just take a quick peek, are right here. Four inmates to one officer. You can see the officer stays at his station, which is closest to the door, and that's where he operates the daily functions of his unit. You see the tiles on the ground. Typically the inmates are told to stay off those tiles unless they have business or told they can walk on it by the officers. Those are my expectations, but not all the time do they follow those expectations. So you see the day room, you see the TVs, you see the rec decks to the far right in C pod. We'll show you guys a closer look when we go into M pod. But B pod is a smaller unit, as you guys are probably like, how come it doesn't look like the other unit? Well, those are where our high profile inmates are. All our murderers, all our people that are gonna go do state time, that know they're gonna be doing state time, are in B pod. Our most serious, violent, potentially violent inmates are to the left. Money on staffing. As the inmate population gets bigger, we'll open up these units.
All right, guys. See you in a week.
This is where the attack team does its training. It's not often that we have an environment that's exactly what we're going to be dealing with inside the. Hey, Sarge.
Right there, we have the train so they can come on the first series.
I wanted to Camp Kelly and saw where you guys are going to be here, some cell setups and.
Yeah, they were doing little comments up there.
So this is a typical unit. You guys can walk around and just take a look at the pretty much set up. This would be where we would keep our workers or our segregated inmates. We used to have females in here because we had a small population of females, but it since has grown to where we have to put them into a bigger unit. In this program, you're going to see different types of outfits. Some are in the program, squad leaders that are in charge of a certain amount of inmate population that are in here. Everybody has to hold their units in their cells in the condition of, hospital corners.
Yeah, so basically what the deal is, one of the things that they do here, the expectation is that they're gonna have a military bearing about them at all times. There's times where the officer who's working the program will come in and he'll ask them packet questions. They have a packet. He'll ask them questions about the program, about their recovery, about their sobriety. But the main thing that we want to do is, these are the people that we want to try to get to go back out and re-enter our community, and we want them to change. So we're looking for them to hopefully keep their addictions at bay. Part of the lifestyle is in here. The expectation is they can't live in here if their cell doesn't look like this. So every day, you won't see this in any other part of the facility. We can't make jailers make their bed. We tell them to make their bed. Most of these guys don't even have beds, so they don't know how to make them when they're out in the streets. So to get a cell to look like that, it takes some work. A lot of officers in here work the program hard. They'll stay on guys, but you have squad leaders here and platoon leaders. The squad leaders are the ones that show these guys what their cell will look like. If you notice in each unit we come in, there's a glass window over there. There's an expectation of what your cell should look like. Every one of those units has that. There's also all the information on the cork boards that they have as well. So when we come in every morning, like Deputy Readiness probably this morning came around, he'll do an inspection. He'll come in, he'll take a look at the cell, he'll make sure that, obviously it's in compliance with what we're looking for. We don't really have to stay on these guys too much. If you're a shock member, if you're actually in the shock program and you're not a prep inmate, we really shouldn't even have to tell you what to do. If we have to tell you what to do, you're going to get bucked down at prep, or you're going to get a red book notification, or you're going to get thrown out of the program. So. The sheriff's mission is rebuild these guys. Let's see if we can get them cleaned up. We're gonna do the best we can to get them cleaned up. And if they take, it takes. So that's the thing. I mean, I don't know about you, but even if it works for a couple guys every year, there's a couple guys you don't see BFF, right? They're not climbing through your windows anymore. They're not climbing even if you did all the hard way. So it's worth trying. We have a lot of it's done for grant money.